the Matilda. You also have the Trizza in the front and the Vexana and Claude in the back. Versus kind of Gaming Gladiators comp is very progressive, very new age, very new style, right? We see the Harith being prioritized. We see the Roger in the jungle. Those are two picks that have really came out of the meta shell, especially in the recent month. Take a look at some of the emblems, some common emblems on the Grok. Matilda having the support emblem, but relatively standard across the board. Xborg here, though, having something a little bit more interesting, goes for a tank emblem on the XP. Something else you could go for is the fighter, but the tank definitely provides a lot more early game sustain against the Trizla armor shredded.
Ooh, speaking of shredding armor, shredding with damage, best player on the Lycan Pounce. Almost finding a kill onto basic. Need to be careful. Right now, though, both sides trying to find their opportunity to take advantage of the early game. Normally, we've been seeing BTK find the advantage, but the last game, it seemed more like more of a one-sided story for a GG to be able to kind of claim these objectives and push through. How do we see BTK respond from here, right? I mean, they have the late game marksman. They have Claude up against the Harith. Both of them gonna have to play for the long game, but we know this kind of boils down to the objectives overall across the map, which helps these teams get that early finish prior to the 14-minute mark.
I mean, for one, BTK's draft, they have to rely on their damage dealers to be able to provide that damage, right? The Vexana and the Claude has to be able to scale well, versus for the side of Gaming Gladiators, every single one of their members can deal damage and can deal with some situations 1 versus 1. They don't have to wait too much. So I would say BTK, they have to be a little bit more careful in terms of choosing their fights, but they have a lot more sustain, right? The Fredrin is going to be really hard to deal with. The Matilda rotates really fast. But on the other hand, Gaming Gladiators, they have the opportunity to go for ganks just like this one.
Yeah, gonna go in for basic. BMI to safety, playing that marksman with the survivability, but hit with the wild charge for the knockup. Secret Vision is Zama Force in the dive from Gaming Gladiators. Not going to lead to the kill, though. Good play over there from Basic. Able to keep himself alive. And right now, I mean, BTK, they were able to take the first turtle. Credit over to Cold World, who's providing a lot of vision on the best player, forcing him to use his retribution on his purple buff.
And I just want to say that Basic dodging death already twice is like really, really good. Like he's able to kind of just micro around and able to dodge a lot of the situation. He only has a Purify available. He didn't have Purify in that situation, but he was able to kind of just get away from a 3-4 man dive. And it's been the second time that the Roger has rotated up. So they're definitely putting a lot of pressure on that winning matchup, right? The Harith does well against the Claude. If the Harith is able to kind of bully the Claude around, they should be able to get a small advantage. And another gank set up by GG. They're just rotating faster than the Matilda is able to get into a position, even the Fredrin. And I think that's just due to how fast the Roger jungles, the damage junglers, compared to something like a Fredrin early on.
But honestly, BTK seemed like they're one step ahead of them right there. Like Milo kind of sniffed out the rotation. He flickered back to safety with the penalty zone just in case they went in for the dive. It was a smart read, and it was the same on the top side. We got to see Basic able to survive that 3-man gank. So right there, you're looking at BTK kind of aware of the rotations from Gaming Gladiators so far, which definitely means it's going to be hard to kind of pursue that opportunity when you're trying to get the trade on the side lanes and losing the turtles. So right now, BTK keeps that up. They're going to start to take this lead in their favor, but right now you are still seeing GG up in gold.
Yeah, and I mean, the up in gold is quite minimal here. Side of B. Oh, Shark able to get the blue buff there. So a little bit of a trade going for the side. A little bit of annoyance going in the favor of GG. You know, Zane doesn't really need that blue buff, but it would be nice, right?
It would definitely be nice to get your buff in the jungle. But you are going to go ahead and see both sides getting ready for this neutral objective. Turtle spawned in. The first one was able to go to the Bloodthirsty Kings, but no contest. Some good vision over there from Cold World, keeping best player at bay. But now, looks like GG is going to turn this back around. We'll try and normalize and equalize this economy. We'll be able to claim this with no contest and forcing BTK back to their side of the jungle. Look at the pressure from Shark winding up with the power of nature, trying to force Moba Zane in an awkward situation in the jungle from getting his farm.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it before the stream. You were like, hey, you know, in order to shut down BTK, they really have to find a way to disrupt Zayn in the jungle. And that's exactly what GG is doing. It's just small, minimal things that Shark is doing, but he's just causing such a disturbance, right? Look at Zayn. He has nothing to do because he has nothing in his jungle, and now he's just attacking Shark, and that's wasting time, wasting experience. He's not getting any farm done here. You can already see the gold lead in favor of Gaming Gladiators for the first time significantly in this match. It was almost at a 1k gold lead, and now with the next objective spawning in about 1 minute, the side of Gaming Gladiators, they have the opportunity to kind of run around the map. You can already see the mobility of the Roger just denying some camps, and just Zayn here, it's just a tough time.
Hey, there's no way Shark is getting out of that. Wait a second. There goes the Prisoner's Wrath. We were waiting on to be able to shut him down. But best player on the bot side will find Milo, a trade-off. We kind of said this like every time MOBA Zayn profits, Milo falls. It's like his kryptonite so far in today's series. But nonetheless, Shark trying to get the invasion and punished by the side of the Bloodthirsty Kings. A kill into MOBA Zayn's hands. Both sides tied up on the scoreboard 1-1.
And I do think this time around, BTK's draft is a lot more ube, is a lot more kind of close quarter, 5-man-5 death ball. Versus the side of Gaming Gladiators, they're trying to stretch out the opponent to stretch 5-man, right? The Roger can deal with everything by himself. Same thing with the Harith. You could also go for the same thing with the Experts. So they have a lot of opportunity to send members around the map to deal with split pushes. And also the Roger mobility has been quite good here.
Ooh, speaking of mobility, Blazing Duet circling Eagle. Basic finding best player, Zayn. Shutting down Hoon, a big play. Last Sandy going out, but hit with the penalty zone from Milo. MOBA Zayn with the Prisoner's Wrath for the double kill. Finds Fried Chicken, the taunt on his Z with the energy eruption, the immunity. Too much to handle. Procking out the Zaman Force to Synchro Fission. Shark gonna hug that wall, forcing BTK out of that turret. But now, laser focused onto the turtle.
Yeah, great fight coming out from the side of BTK. Basic was able to use the Blazing Duet to deal tons of damage, getting 2 sets. Also, Nicolette getting that knock-up, pretty much secured the kill for on top of best player, right? And they were able to get like a high priority target here. Now for the side of GG, they are back being down in a situation. This is just back and forth, Weezy. Both games are close. These guys are going head to head in every little situation, just creating havoc here. But it seems like BTK is coming out just slightly on the edge right now.
Is literally the story. It's the 50-50. One team wins and then the other one wins. It's just flipping a coin. That's the odds when both these sides face off in the land of Dawn. But right now, BTK with the advantage, 4-1, able to claim 2 turtles, 2 turrets up on the map against Gaming Gladiators, who is now trying to find an opportunity of their own on the top side, trying to overwhelm Milo. But Cold World joining the party. Nicolette right behind him will be there to engage, able to defend the push from Gaming Gladiators.
I think the side of GG, they have to get this Harith involved in some of these team fights, right? Zia came in kind of late after 2 of the members have been taken out by the side of BTK. So this time around, in order to get them into the fight, it might be something, but best player here.
Yeah, trying to defend from the siege on to the tier 1 turret for the mid lane. Some good defense from Gaming Gladiators. BTK, good pressure that they're putting on the map so far. They're still holding on to all of their turrets in the game. The bot side was almost bursted down by best player. He should have just went in for one more basic attack, but that just kind of shows you just how much pressure is on the line for both sides. Every time there's an objective available, somebody's there. And right now, that somebody is BTK for game number 4.
Yeah, they're gatekeeping the wins here. Both of these teams are, standing tall against each other here. You talked about how BTK had a pretty good rotation coming in. I want to say Gaming Gladiators have a great defense. At the same time, they're able to defend pretty much multiple towers here, but topside Zia might get caught off here dealing a lot of damage to MOBA Zayn.
Oh, he's not worried about it. He got that Savage. He's on that Savage buff right now. It's going to go in sharp. Taking down MOBA Zayn. The jungler will fall. Zayn finding his first death of the game. No retribution on their side. An opportunity for GG to go in for this Lord if they want to. But you are seeing Milo and Cold World putting on some pressure.
Yeah, and I mean, this is how GG kind of gets back into the game. They need to get Zia involved because Zia can deal so much magic damage that they're looking for. But the knockup
is going to connect, circling Eagle as well. But still the airlines, Nicolette will find one. Fried Chicken responds back, takes down Cold World. Basic finding Fried Chicken. The counter, best player with the Lord for Gaming Gladiators, and will disengage to their jungle.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit surprising that Gaming Gladiator is going to be the one that dictates these objectives, right? Especially with the five-man comp that they have here. They're not having something like a utility jungle. They're not having 50-50 moments. They're just going for the kills. And if they're able to pick up Mobazane early on in the team fights, yes, they're going to get a completely clean retribution on that. But if they're unable to do so, right, the side of BTK Zane is definitely going to have a lot more favor in terms of the 50-50, but just not even giving them the opportunities where GG shines. They are able to knock down the opponents, especially with getting Zia involved in these fights.
And speaking of fights, battle in the mid lane, both sides on a full-out war. Milo brought back to safety over there from Koro, but now the dive with the last insanity, not going to connect from Fried Chicken, but down goes the turret. Best player will be the one to knock it down. The Terrify on the Milo as well. Nobody will fall in that engagement, but overall, the objectives lean toward Gaming Gladiators.
I mean, we could take a look at some of the items here. You can already see about a 1k gold lead for the Claude, having the Trinity build already done. The Herod is still a little bit behind, looking for that new Holy Crystal that's placed about a 3k gold. And it's even, you know, with the roamers, with the mages, the junglers. You can see there is about a 1.5k difference advantage for the side of Gaming Gladiators, just due to the fact that Roger has the ability to farm the jungle a lot more faster.
Milo! He needs to get out of there, UA. Best player.
Mayday.
Like a pounce will be able to shut him down. The four-man stack in the bush, not where Milo was expecting to go or expecting to be taken down at. But nonetheless, a good play from Gaming Gladiators. Milo finding the second death of the game so far. This is a very low-kill game. I mean, we're 12 minutes in. 6-4 on the scoreboard.
And you have Nicolette here, 50k damage already, the highest damage dealt in this match, and no one really comes close. It just shows you how strong the Vexana pick is. But Zia here gets CC'd and taken out by Basic. Yes, the Claude is going to have a lot more mobility and a lot more damage, especially paired with the DHS in terms of the late game. But I didn't think at 12 minutes they're able to take out the Herod this early. That's bad news for the side of Gaming Gladiators.
And a clap back from BTK, right? You took down Milo, we'll take down Zia. A good read to be able to catch him out of position and to be able to turn this back in their favor. Right now, both of these sides playing ping pong over who's controlling the map. I mean, right? You're looking at 3 turrets down for both sides, but the tier 1 in the mid lane still standing strong for Gaming Gladiators. 10 seconds until this Lord spawns in, and this is what we call anybody's game, but something that we can't deny. Basic overall having a little bit of a better game compared to Zia as the gold laner.
Yeah, I mean, 303 pretty much just shows you he had 6 of the 7 kill participation that BTK has. And he also has a slight gold lead on top of Zia. Now, Zia, the Herod, it's supposed to do well in terms of the early game, in terms of the lane matchup. That's where he shines the most. Well, when it comes down to a lot of these big, ugly team fights, it seems like the Claude is going to have a slight edge, especially if he's able to get into a better position.
The dive in, though, with the Lanka Pounce. Cold World going to be able to make his way back to safety with this Mathilda, one of the hardest heroes to kill, not only for the sustainability, but the mobility that is also provided. Lord in play now, though. You are looking at both sides getting ready to fight over this objective.
Yeah, GG definitely has a lot more damage. You're looking for initiation here.
Whoa, a lot of wasted utility, though. Not going to be able to connect. Milo, though, frontlining the damage. Chicken shutting him down with the fire missiles. Look at the Lord, though, intact, and GG surrounding it for the claiming. They do have the retribution. Basic with the split push on the bot side, though. Now with the base for GG. Nicolette trying to hold him off the camera.
Basic.
Not going to go in for it. What's the focus on the Lord? Respectable. You are going to go ahead and see the Lord at 25% HP almost. Right now, you're looking at GG on the defense. BTK on the push. A high IQ play from the split push from Basic on his comfort pick with this Claude.
And this is where BTK shines a little bit more, right? The Fredrin is going to have a great time doing these Lord dances left and right. But beside the GG, you saw how quickly they were looking for the initiation because they are damage focused. They need kills. And if they're able to get 1 or 2 kills, they have the numbers advantage. Then they can start doing kind of a tricky Lord dance. But before then, they have to look kind of for a full engage. And if they're unable to get so, just like how Shark right there, he was unable to get the wild charge to connect. BTK just a little bit too fast, knowing that Shark and knowing that the side of GG has to go for a lot of team fights in these comps.
You know, credit to Nicolette too, going back to the base to defend, because Chicken was not able to get there. Nobody from the side of GG was able to get there in time.
Yeah, Hoon was there.
Hoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Hoon was there, able to kind of defend, and you were looking at Basic trying to close it out. That was a very close call. Had he not been in position, they could have ended that game. But right now, you're looking at both sides again at this Lord dance. Still a 50-50 game.
I think it's just a little bit more in favor for the side of BTK because the strategy, the banana split push that the Claude has, there's not many people that can defend that, right? The Claude can kind of just jump around, especially with the Matilda Airlines. He's able to go across the map quite fast versus the Harith, it's just a little bit slower, right? And now they're able to poke out the Grok. The Grok has to go back in the base. Side of BTK has the numbers advantage here.
Oh, I think they're going in for it, though. They're going to try and get the contest. Best player forced out of the Lord Pit, though. Big knock up. Circling Eagle, wrapping around Cold in the heart of the battle. Both sides fight it out. Best player needs to get in there, not in retribution distance. There they go, though, fighting it out. Immortality procced on Fried Chicken. Look at the Lord. Best player able to get it at a moment's notice for Gaming Gladiators. But now the punish may be on the way from the Bloodthirsty Kings. Do they get out of there with nobody falling? They got to get one. And there it goes. Moba Zane will find Fried Chicken.
Yeah, it is going to be a 1 for a Lord situation. I want to say typically if it's a 1 for a Lord, the person that gets kind of the one player should have a slight advantage because they're able to kind of just clear the Lord quite easily. But the team fight's still going on. Milo almost chunks so low here.
Yeah, fighting it out. The Lord quickly bursts it down. Look at Basic. Not even phased, but now best player. Trying to seize the opportunity to take down the marksman for Bloodthirsty Kings. Not going to be able to find him, though. And that Lord is now out of commission.
Yeah, and I think Basic is kind of playing above and beyond in this series, especially in this match so far. The impact that he has, the pressure. He was able to kind of walk through that bot side, especially when GG were looking for a full engage, able to get that tower pressure, the side of GG to split up. And it just doesn't feel like GG is able to withstand a lot of these team fights if they're split up. So they really have to group together, bring in all the damage, the mixed damage coming out from the Harith, from the Roger, in order for them to win a team fight. Versus for the side of BTK, they are happy to fight kind of 4 versus 5. Just having Mobazane there by himself with Nicolette and Milo just dealing with enough damage and sustain, they're happy fighting these disadvantages because they know the Claude is on the other side of the map. And now with the Lord on the bot side, it gives more opportunity for Basics' well-known banana split push.
And right now, this is the longest game we've had in this entire series. Gaming Gladiators currently at match point. If they find this victory, they'll force BTK down to the lower bracket, a possible way to shut them out of the NACT spring season. But on the flip side, BTK putting on a great fight, trying to even out this series, and may be able to do it with how they've been performing today. I mean, technically, like we said, it's been the flip of a coin. One team wins, then the other. This time, it should be BTK's turn in terms of patterns, but patterns can be broken, and it looks like that's the plan for Gaming Gladiators. Right now, though, 8-5, 18 minutes in. Still a very low kill game to be close to that 20-minute mark.
Yeah, a lot more different from the game 1 to 3 here, where it pretty much just ended within like the 15-minute mark. This time, we're actually going past the 18. The Lord is just going to get buffer and buffer. The death timers are going to get longer, and the mistake. The Roger, those are all early game heroes. Even the Grok doesn't deal too much in terms of the late game, but BTK has set up a draft that thrives in this 19-20 minute mark where everyone has full items, especially the Claude and the Fredrin. Those are very, very tanky, hard members that the side of Gaming Gladiators has to find a way to deal with.
Yeah, right now the Lord has spawned in. Another high-value target for both sides. Could possibly be the deciding factor to be able to close this game out. But normally when we see the Lord this late in the game, it's more as a tool to kind of bait out the other team to initiate on the fight and wait for the mistake. And I think that's what we're going to be seeing today. Best player hit with a light. You see how much damage that was? I feel like Nicolette just blinked at that man, and he took about 50% HP. Definitely going to have to watch out for that.
A very different strategy coming out from the side of Gaming Gladiators, though. They're looking to let the side of BTK kind of group up here. This might be the opportunity that GG is looking for. They want these 5 versus 5 team fights.
Oh, circling Eagle on the best player, trying to take down the jungler. A risky play from the side of Bloodthirsty Kings, but they're able to make their way back to safety. Basic very low, forced to get out of the Lord pit. Use the BMI to go back to the mid lane.
Uh-oh, but they did stretch that top side. The top side minions are pushing in. BTK having the opportunity with the numbers advantage. You can even see best player just completely ignoring the objective. I think this is going to be uncontested. BTK should be able to grab this up, no problem here.
No, best player trying to get in position. Hit with a lot of CC, hit with a lot of damage. Almost out of there, very low. Mobazane will find Zia. Should be able to claim this lore. Cold World will be the one to take it for the Bloodthirsty Kings. And now Gaming Gladiators on the retreat, trying to get out of there. Very low. BTK able to win that objective.
On top here, and it's due to the late game composition that they have set up in their draft. Roger, Harith, extremely early game. Same thing with the Grok. They want these games to be ending within the 15-minute mark, and it's due to good reasons. The last few games have always been this early game snowball that the opposite end of the team cannot deal with the push at the very end. But this time around, the game is different. We're getting into that late game, and that's just where the Claude thrives. This is where BTK wants to be in some of these team fights. They want these games to be dragged out long and dry and hard, where it's tough, and this just brings in that element of surprise here. Ooh, they're going in.
This is BTK's chance to take us to a game number 5. As they are now opening up the base for GG with the Lord intact, quickly being bursted down, but a big knockup onto Gaming Gladiators. Milo will find one, takes down Zia. Nicolette finds best player. Numbers in BTK's favors. Nicolette gets another, shuts down Hoon. The mid laner will fall for GG. The Lord alongside him, and down goes the base Crystal. BTK taking us to a game